Mr. Rao.
What do I do about climate change? Or rather, what should we all be doing together about climate change? You know, I want to take inspiration from one of the greatest social reformers of probably of all time, Mahatma Gandhi. He came to India exactly 100 years ago to jumpstart the freedom movement in India. And after 3 years of studying how to get the British out of India, he came up with a simple idea. Everybody should change their clothes. So change your clothes from British clothes to khadi clothes made in India by Indian people. It was a simple act, but it turned out to be a substantial act because the textile industry was the largest industry in England at that time. So within a dozen years, he had bankrupted all the textile mills in Manchester. And the British government came to negotiate with him. It only took 12 years for that simple act to change and to create a social movement in India. So 100 years later, we are faced with the same task. How do we create a social movement in which we all participate and address climate change? It has to be a simple act that anybody can do. It has to be a substantial act because it should have a huge impact on the climate. And it also has to be a spiritual act because, you know, our ancestors in India considered kicking the British out as a spiritual act. So, what could that be? And I'm going to posit to you that instead of changing our clothes, we should be changing what we eat. We should be changing what we consume. If we stop consuming animal products of any kind, it is a simple act. Millions of people are already doing it. It is a substantial act because a land use expert from the IPCC has confirmed to me, along with his grad student, is Professor Atul Jain of University of Illinois and Shiji Shu, that the recovering forests on all the land that's going to be released when everyone goes vegan can sequester 265 gigatons of carbon, which is more than the 240 gigatons of carbon that humans have put into the atmosphere since the industrial era began. That is substantial. Okay? And it's also a spiritual act because in the Laudato Si, Pope Francis said, it is contrary to human dignity to cause animals to suffer or die needlessly. And the American Dietetic Association has said that it is unnecessary to eat animal foods of any kind at any stage of our life cycle. So how can we in good conscience continue to eat them? Thank you very much.